I'm Shane Nyland, and my co-host is Blake Musser. And these stories you're about to hear are from Weapons Company, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, 1st Marine Division, about the events surrounding and directly from the mouths of the people who were in Ramadi 2004.
All right, John, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I am Jonathan Wade. I was a Lance Corporal, got promoted to Corporal during the deployment to Ramadi. And I was a member of the 81 millimeter mortar platoon, and I was in the sledgehammer section.
Hoorah. And then of note, you were my A driver going up from Kuwait.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of, and I don't think we had anybody in our truck, right? It was just gear, is my memory.
Me and you and a whole lot of high explosive mortar rounds in the bed of our, basically a pickup truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Driving, all the way from Kuwait to Ramadi.
Yeah, that was I was glad to have you as my passenger.
A little crazy of a trip.
That was one of my more specific memories was having to figure out how to piss in a Gatorade bottle with those sappy plates in while driving and trying to keep up with everybody. So I'm not going to say that I was successful every time, but I got the job done.
That's why they don't put carpet on these, man.
Yeah.
Right. Good.
So let's start maybe a little bit more from the beginning. You came to us while we were on our Oki deployment.
Correct.
And you were the grandpa of the unit since you did you did college. You graduated from college, or did you stop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Corps couldn't figure out what to do with me. Like, I showed up for 5th Marines and I went to 2-5 initially. And then while I'm, working up with them and training with them, they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, your orders got modified. You're going to 2-4." I was like, "Oh, cool. Where's 2-4 at?" Like, I don't know what 4 is. And they're like, "Oh, they started laughing." And I'm like, "Why are you laughing?" "Oh, they're in Okinawa, Japan." I was like, "Okay, like permanently?" Or are they just like deployed there? So then when I showed up, you guys had already done the workup, and you had began the first half of what would end up being a double UDP. And we just started traveling all around Asia and shooting mortars. And I joined FDC with you and Saunders. Yep. I started off on Chips's gun, and then graduated to FDC and started. I guess plotting board was my main detail.
It was. I have a couple pictures of you on the board. So
working the wheel.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so then we get back from our Oki deployment, and I don't remember. I got sent out on a bunch of schools and stuff like that. Did you go to any schools in between the deployments?
I did.
Get spun up.
Yeah, they sent me to what did I go to? You and I went to the language immersion class.
That's right.
Yeah, we went to Arabic to try to learn to speak that, and then
and they taught us Egyptian Arabic instead of Iraqi Arabic, but whatever.
Right. Yeah. Every once in a while we'd say something, they'd be like, "What?" Yeah. So I kind of like gave up on that thing because they did a good job of providing us terps. So
later on they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you went to the interpreter's course.
I did. Yeah.
Did you speak Arabic with a Georgia accent?
No.
Austin one.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. You were from the north. I forgot about that.
Yep. I enlisted from Boston.
And how old were you? You were just mentioning you had done some college before you came in. How old were you when you enlisted?
25.
Okay. You weren't like, I was like, you weren't like 35. Like it's, all right. I mean, in Marine Corps years, 25 is a grandfather, but.
Oh, yeah, but they love me because I can go to the PX and buy beer. So
yeah. Yeah.
Not that I bought beer for any underage kids. I'm just saying.
Not that I consumed any. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. All these ghost beers that didn't happen.
Exactly. So, when I first showed up, like, I was kind of the grand old man, but that worked out later.
Yeah. So you would have gone. So if you were at the Arabic school, then you didn't go to March either. Then we both missed the March Air Force spin up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we got left behind for that school.
Yep. Okay. And so then we're coming into our flight out. What do you remember of our the middle of February?
Oh, it's crazy because we flew out and I had made a bet with the company commander on the Super Bowl. I told him that the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl, and he had to pay up. So when we got on the C-141 to fly out, and we're all cramped up on there, he had to pay up, and he bought me a 6-pack of Guinness beer, and we got to drink the beer. Remember that?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Single beers on the plane for like $50.
That's too awesome. I forgot about that. That's
yeah. But I was sitting right next to Squiv, Esquivel on the bird, and remember when they were passing the bottle,
booze around,
the whiskey bottle,
the bottle around, and we all had a sip, and then the plane broke down, and we ended up in New Jersey for like a week, and we're out there PTing in the snow. And I remember Rocha saying that's the first time he ever saw snow.
Yep. There's a couple guys. Oh man, what was the other guy? Not Trujillo. What was the other guy that was from Miami? Oh, I can see his face. Oh man.
Miami.
Younger dude. Anyways, he also hadn't seen snow, so.
Well, guys like Familia didn't ever see snow. He was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too funny.
A lot of guys just we went out there and had that snowball fight after after a PT run.
That's what I remember. I remember that big ass snowball fight. That was awesome. And we were calling cadence, and I remember Staff Sergeant Cook being like, "You guys got to tone it down. Like, this is an Air Force base. We can't. You can call cadence, but it's got to be like, you got to whisper cadence today."
It's 9:00 in the morning. You're going to wake the Air Force up.
That's right.
Well, and if I remembering back on any of the cadences that I knew, I don't think any of them would probably have been appropriate in outside of an infantry unit.
No. Yeah, not like running around Camp Hansen and Okinawa or Camp Pendleton, where you were not going to hurt anybody's feelings with your words.
Now, every once in a while, I'll try and call cadence for the kids when we go for runs and stuff like that, and I'll launch into it, and I'll get halfway into it and be like, "Oh wait, I don't know if I'll do that verse."
I don't think the kids want to hear about the little birdie. Yeah.
So, yep. So we attempt to take off from New Jersey, and that's only mildly successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started spilling fuel or something like that, and then we had to turn back, and then we eventually made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we landed in Kuwait and had to do. We had to get used to the desert after having snowball fights. So that acclimatization period was a little rough.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird to go from 0 to it was 100 and whatever it was, like 102 in Kuwait at the time when we got there.
Yep. We'd go out and do little PT runs in Kuwait, and it was like, oh my God. This is up. So I'll say that to say this, like when I went to 1-7, our acclimatization was nothing. Like literally we'd leave 29 Palms and we'd be able to get over there, and it was no different. So it was like 29 Palms being high desert, and so you didn't have to worry about elevation, or you didn't have to worry about the heat at all. So it was very similar. So there's a difference.
What do you remember of Camp Victory in Kuwait? Any specific memories?
Yeah, I remember it was very like barren, and there's not a lot to do. And then when we came back, I mean, they had an E-Club, they had a 31 flavors, they had ice cream, they had hamburger joints, all kinds of crap.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we actually came back through we didn't come back through Camp Victory when we came back, right? We went through like Camp RF John or one of the other camps.
Yeah.
So it did have a whole
Crazy.
lot more shit.
Yeah. I don't know if it was that way when we pushed in, but it was definitely that way when we came back. And it was very clear that we had different missions than other individuals that were,
Yeah.
and, they definitely built it up, and it was like little America when we came back. It was actually pretty cool.
I remember, I think, was it Burger King that they had there? And I
Yep.
feel like there was a pizza joint too that they were
Yep.
able to
Yep.
get some pizza while we were.
Aro or some crap.
Yeah.
It was like a mall food court going on over there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember the PX wasn't too bad there too. And I remember I grabbed that's why I bought a really nice knife over there that I carried. Ended up getting stolen out of my car 10 years ago. But
the little pogs, the little
yeah, the AP's pugs.
Yeah,
I forgot.
I actually found some of those in a box in my garage when I was like cleaning some crap out the other day. I found I was like, I can't believe I still have this crap.
Yeah. And then let's see here. So like I said earlier, we ended up driving up together.
Yep.
And what do you remember of I mean, we got information at zero dark. I mean, I was like 3 a.m. or something like that, because if we crossed the LOD, I think at daybreak or something like that.
Yep.
Just before. Yeah, it was still dark when we crossed.
Yep. And then there was one stop we made where they I guess it was some sort of security force that was doing route clearance. It was like on that highway that was trying to clear all that highway. They got hit with an IED and a bunch of, and that's kind of when the reality hit it, and it's like, oh my God, we're in Indian country now. This is starting to get real.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Remember that they had the vehicle with the door that would come off on the side, and the gunner could fire from the A driver's seat. And it was one dude got hit pretty bad on that, and they came in and did a medevac right there at one of our spots, and that was eye opening for me. I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Serious. This isn't a trip to Okinawa. This is something.
Yeah, it's strange with that. You know, we had such a big convoy. You guys were in the exact same convoy I was in because we went on the first convoy that crossed the LOD from our battalion. And I don't know how many trucks we had in that convoy. I've looked at pictures and tried to count it up, but it's a lot. It's, however many, 37 tons and a whole pile of Humvees. And we're driving 30 miles an hour. I mean, we weren't driving fast. We were driving 30, 40 miles an hour the whole way up, because the 7 tons just really couldn't go much faster. According to them, they couldn't go much faster without overheating or whatever. I don't know what the fuck they said. Didn't matter to me. And it felt like it took fucking forever to drive up, and extremely stressful. And I'm amazed that we didn't get hit. That was my whole point, was we didn't get hit at all. There was supposedly somebody reported pop shots in the back of the convoy,
Yeah.
but there was no impact. Like nobody got hit with anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember what you're talking about, and is one of those things where you're trying to figure out where it's coming from, and you're new at this, so it's like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
This is wide open desert on either side of us, and we're kind of like watching and trying to make sure that we can get our brothers up there to Ramadi safely, and right. It's like, come on, man, this is odd, man. This is odd, but yeah. But then when we arrived, it was crazy because we got thrown in it like immediately. Like those airborne guys were legit, man. The ones we did, I remember Musser and I went out on a couple of like right seat, left seat things, and kind of like get to know the city and stuff like that. I don't even know if anybody really knew we were doing that or even wanted us to do that, but we ride out with those guys. And it was like, ooh, man, this is going to be different.
We just got some clarification from someone on that too, that I had forgotten the complete part of that, is that the guys that were helping us do that, left seat, right seat, weren't the technically the ones that were there from before. And so that's part of the reason why they were just screaming down Mount Michigan and not really showing us everything.
Well, I did
But
not.
yeah, no.
So from that note, I didn't realize that there were 2 units there that we were doing relief in place. So there was still some of the National Guard unit because we rode when I did left seat, right seats, we rode with the National Guard guys. But apparently other people, and maybe you guys did too, rode with some of the 82nd Airborne. And that's John. That's what you were mentioning is the 82nd Airborne was probably who you did that. And I did not remember that at all.
I had forgotten that until he had given me that note, and so.
Yeah, the 82nd Airborne guy, the one guy that was running the patrols. Remember that guy had no voice, like he was like screaming.
Oh, that's right.
Remember how raspy his voice was because it was so like they were really focused on making sure that supply lines stayed open and stuff like that. They weren't doing like locate, close with, and destroy like we were going to do later in the deployment. They were more like. We got guys that are separated all across the city, and we need to make sure that they continuously stay resupplied and stuff like that. And they really drove fast and like, didn't like once they took contact. Oh wait, there's the bad guy we got to deal with. Hey, jump out and deal with that. And they were like, hey, push through it and get to where we were going and stuff. So very different, but at the same time, I had a lot of respect for those guys.
Yeah, it sounds like again from the person who sent us this note, it was they had mentioned that they were not even a whole company. It was like just a few squads plus basically that were left behind. So they didn't even have their full capacity to do anything anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense. That explains a lot. Like, because like those guys, they weren't. I'm not trying to make them sound like if they were cowards or anything like that, because they certainly were not.
No,
they were. But they were out doing the job, and it seemed like they were very, very short. And yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Well, and I think you make a good point too. I mean, their mission was different. We were asked to hold the city and when we first got over those Sasso operations, so we were trying to win hearts and minds, but they were focused on making sure that Junction City and Blue Diamond and those outposts were able to stay connected.
Oh yeah,
through that MSR of Michigan, and they didn't have any other. Well, both because they didn't have enough personnel, but also the point was to keep the MSR open.
Correct.
And so,
yeah, which later on we find out that wasn't as easy said as done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a seemingly small ask, but a very tall order.
Yeah. And it's crazy how fast you and I know I'm pushing ahead a little bit, but it's amazing how fast you get used to craziness, because by the time everybody else showed up and they started landing in helicopters and we started getting reinforced over there at Hurricane Point and stuff like that, we had already been mortared. I don't know how many times, mortared, rockets, stuff like that. And we were used to it. And they'd go running for the hoochies and stuff like that. We'd be like, hey guys, this happens every day. Like you need to get used to it, man. Like, and they were like, holy shit, how are you guys used to this already? And it was like we're not tough guys at all. Dude, I'm telling you, it just happens and you get used to it. And it's amazing what you can get used to. So
you saying that I have a vivid memory. It was you, and I don't remember. There was 2 other guys, and it was early on, and we were walking over to the phone booths, and we got mortared. And I remember you and I kind of did like we were half stride, and we kind of crouched down a little bit, and just stood there. And the other guys like tried to run, and we're like, "Don't run! They're we don't know where you're gonna run into it as likely as you just stay here for a second, because they're knocking the fins off of the goddamn mortars anyways, and so they're erratic. Just wait until it's done and then move on."
Yeah, some of them are landing in the sand and not going off, guy. Like there's like timers and like angle iron and shit, man. Like they're not. Yeah, they're tubes, bro. Like, yeah. We learned that early on. That was crazy.
So let's see here. We get, as you said, we started getting our guys in, and we hit the ground running. We were we were pushing out. Like you said, we were sledgehammer, and I was lead truck driver with Gunny Cook. And I remember those first couple days trying to. I mean, that was the reason why he had me as the drivers. He knew I wouldn't get lost. And I know that he said that several times. He's like, whatever you do, we cannot get lost out here.
Right.
And so, what's truck now? Who were you with mostly? I mean, we kind of jumped around a lot, but who did you tend to run with?
Until we started getting different reinforcements and moving guys around and stuff like that, I was the A driver or vehicle commander for Ventasia's vehicle. And I was like,
that's right,
one or two vehicles right behind you.
That's right.
And believe me, the way you learn the city, it was very, very good, because like following you around was beneficial, because Venecia, great dude, but sometimes he scared me as a driver. I got to be honest. Especially at night, when he told me that he thought that moving things on NVGs would come up a different color, and I was like, yeah, because we didn't have a whole lot of experience with night vision at that point, you know.
No.
Who used it?
And those were, and I don't know which one he had, because I know I had a monocular, but those binocular ones were something awful. So
well, we were still running. We were running previous generation stuff to the time that we were even there. Multiple people had 7 Bravos, which were like late 90s gear.
Oh, yeah. I had.
Yeah. And
weighed like 10 pounds.
Yeah. And a few people had 7 Deltas, and we're like, and those are a little more clear, like as far as the technology went. But even that's multiple generations behind. Like we would meet up with Army units and be like, wow, look at those fucking NVGs. They're so small. Yeah.
Hey, did you guys get your night vision from the Smithsonian or what? Why are you
yeah. Well, we had a couple 50 cals that were still running Starlight scopes. I mean, that's a Vietnam era technology. Like, and that was, they fucking clear as a bell in the middle of the night, but just, I mean, ancient tech as far as when you're talking to 2004 deployment.
Yeah. Well, even with all that shit equipment, like those guys, I'm telling you right now, the machine gunners were the heroes of that deployment.
Yeah.
By a lot. Like once we started like mixing it up, like, cause towards the end of the deployment, like I ended up with I'm ashamed of not remembering the kid's name, but he was a tow gunner, and he
Already?
Already. That's right.
Nice.
And that dude, man, he was on time with that machine gun, my guy. Like, he knew exactly what he was doing. So he kept us alive. Like dismounts, we did a bunch of stuff, and you know, God bless them. But like the machine gunners, those guys are the ones that kept us alive for real.
So you
100%.
So you started out. You were the vehicle commander. You had Benicia. Who did you have in your gun initially? And were you running a 240 or were you running a 50, or what'd you have?
Yeah, we had like a pintle mount, like that we like mounted in the back of a high back, because I had the high back. Okay. We were in the brown one. Remember, everybody else had a green one. I had the brown one, and it kept getting hit with IEDs. Yeah, different was dead over there, boy. Yeah. They like to hit the brown one. I think my vehicle got hit with like 6 during that deployment. Yeah. I think what was the final numbers on the total number of IEDs we hit as a section, as a unit?
I have a count of 26.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's somewhere in the ballpark of 30.
Yeah, I have a count of like 26 and stuff like that, and I know. And then my truck was hit with. I was in a truck that got hit 5 times.
Oh yeah.
And then plus the RPG that wasn't with us technically; it was with the other unit. But
right.
No, we got. It was good times.
That's scary at all.
Yeah, that's also without any armor on a lot of those. And most of the times that when we got hit was even that was pre-armor too. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we had some armor. I mean, remember when we went over to Junction City, and we had the Seabees teach us how to weld. And we're over there with stick welders burning holes in steel and like strapping this stuff to the side of these iPads.
I have a picture of you looking very judgmental watching a CB burn a hole through an armored door. Like, it's the funniest fucking picture. I was in preparation for this podcast. I was looking through some old pictures and I was like, oh my God. That, and you have like your hands on your hips and you're like giving this guy the weirdest look, and it's fucking hilarious.
What the fuck are we doing? And we even cut all the steel to shape with the stick welders. Like, we were blowing holes to put bolts through these holes.
Yeah.
It's such terrible. No. And when I jumped on the welder to help the Seabees out, I was wearing 2 pairs of sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm in boots and utes over there, and my arms were so sunburned from the welder. That, man, it was terrible. I come back and, Gunny Cook, Seth Cook at the time was like, dude, what's wrong with your skin? I was like, man, I was rocking a welder. I didn't have a welding jacket. I'm terrible at this. I apologize in advance for how bad the welds are. It was, oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's funny, even as bad as all those booger welds are and all that shit was, it probably saved some dudes, at least from some eye trauma. It may not have saved you from like some of the bigger shit, because some of the bigger shit cut right through that armor. But,
sure.
Kicking up glass and dirt and sand and pieces of shitter pipe and everything else, stuff that would have been blown into your face, got blocked.
Right. Yeah.
And there was a lot to be said about the morale of it. I mean, just feeling like you had some control.
Like you had anything? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. That was definitely, man. Before that, I had done a little bit of welding, but like nothing like that. I'm not very good at it. And my father-in-law actually is a pipe fitter. He's like a professional welder. And when I told him what I was doing over there, he's like, "What are you, crazy? You could have been blinded."
Yeah.
I was like, well, yeah, you got to do what you got to do, man. Couldn't find a welding helmet over there.
No, when I did it, I would just try and line it up and just like close my eyes and turn my head away and just do like 4-inch runs and then look again, and be like, good enough.
That'll stay. Yeah, that'll hang out.
It's not structural. It's just.
Oh yeah, we just keep this metal in place to, like Shane said, they should block all that debris that's flying towards it. But do you ever remember getting briefed on anything about IEDs before we went like
I
not
remember,
to the extent?
I don't know. I don't know if everybody went to it, but I definitely went to it was a PowerPoint presentation back in San Mateo.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, 30-ish slides. And they just really ran by it really fast. But the thing is that the information was not, I don't know how to say, I don't want to knock anybody too much, but it was just, it was in such infancy of understanding that the informations they were giving, like, for example, I remember they said, an IED could be in a Coke can. It would be filled with gunpowder. Mm-hmm. And if you come across that, you need to have a 200-foot offset. And it's like, and when, the reality of that over there is like, A, that's not how they're doing it, but B, like, you can't offset that much.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What was do you remember our battalion gunner? Was his name was Abbott, correct? Gunner Abbott?
Yeah, Gunner Abbott,
yeah. Gunner Abbott. Yeah. We had another, our warrant officer that we took over was like Reed.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Gunner Abbott was, I think, the one that led up that particular PowerPoint training, because I was there as well. And the pictures that they had were improvised devices from Northern Ireland primarily, because that was the most recent conflict where anybody had IEDs. Right. And a lot of that stuff was British, like sort of some information from the Brits, but they were on like a police mission. It's just a very different,
right,
vastly different scenario, and also that vastly different arsenal. Clearly, Northern Ireland doesn't have 155 howitzer rounds to stick fuses in, and so there's no, there wasn't much comparison as far as that went. The only other time, and since both of you went to that language class, that we talked about IEDs was at March Air Force Base. And we did a few IED drills and like talked about what we would do. Like, oh, you found an explosive. This is how you're going to set a cordon. This is how you're going to call for EOD and like, what do you need to do now? And not any kind of preparation, but it's the same thing. There were some Brits there. And so they kind of brought up like their experience with Ireland.
Right. Yeah, I think it was in its infancy with them using that as a weapon against the Americans that were over there, and I think that they and Gunner Abbott was smart enough to realize that that's going to be something that's going to like evolve and be a big weapon against us. Because I mean, let's be honest, like I wouldn't want to fight us on a fair fight either.
Right? No,
I don't want to go toe to toe with the Marine Corps. That don't even make any sense. So why not try to break their morale and then strike fear in them, like to even ride around, because there's going to be these big explosions. So, and of course they got bigger as the deployment went on. Yeah.
I was just going to say that we got lucky because, to your point, that they were trying to figure it out when we didn't have armor. And we got lucky because, the number of times that they either positioned it the wrong direction for the explosion or too deep, really saved our asses a couple of times. I don't know if you remember, it was later on in the deployment when they had a daisy chained one. It was like 3 155s in a row.
Yep.
And thank God they had it buried as deep as they did. And also thank God that when it popped, it was in between the trucks enough. But my God, that rooster tail, I think that thing went up 20 feet in the air.
Yeah. And, I mean, us being mortar guys, everybody expected us to be able to look at the crater and be like, hey, do a little on it and figure out how big these things are getting. And it's like, man, dude, like this is all brand new stuff, Like, we're like, yeah, I can tell you what I think it is, but
right. I'm not forensics, man.
No.
I just drop rounds. I don't go investigate.
Exactly.
So do you remember the first time you guys got hit?
Yeah, I think the first IED strike that I think it's the first memorable one, at least, is the one that Warth got hit, that bike bomb.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we had to medevac him, and that one is the first time. I say that that the riding with 82nd Airborne and stuff like that was a wake up call, or even the individuals that got injured while we were convoying up was like, hey, you're in the shit now. Like, you need to throw the switch and become a different dude. But like I think the first one was when Warth got hit. It's like that's when it hit home. One of our brothers got hit, and we had to send him out of country. And that's the one that was like, oh yeah, this shit is dangerous.
Were you part of the? Because I think if I remember correctly, we split up where some stayed because we needed to gather intel and all that other good jazz, and then a group went to combat outpost. I remember I was holding a corner for that until they got other people from the battalion out there. But were you a part of the evac, or did you stay behind?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we grabbed Doc and we grabbed Warth, and we were part of the ones that went to Charlie Med to bring him over there, because I remember you guys telling the stories about finding the pieces of the bike and stuff. Actually figuring out that because once we rode by it, we were like, oh shit, there it is, and then it was too late.
Yeah, no, that does. I don't want to call it regret, but that does. It does sometimes bother me that I remember very vividly seeing that goddamn bike as we're coming up to it and being like, and then as soon as I didn't say anything, I didn't get it out, and then it popped right behind me. Yep. And so it was a blue bike with a basket on the front of it.
I think I was Vic 3. I think I was Vic 3 on that. I think Warth was Vic 2. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you were Vic 1, obviously. And then,
I think if I remember correctly, I think it would have been your truck, and then last truck took Warth to Charlie Med, and then it was Gunny Cook my truck and then the rest of the team from
Right.
truck 2.
Yep.
And actually, the big thing that came from that was afterwards, Gunny Cook gave me one of the best leadership pieces of advice ever. He pulled me aside and he said, "Hey, good job out there. However, I saw you getting pretty emotional out there, like kind of getting angry and stuff like that." And he's like, "You were not." How did he say it? He said, "Make you are a leader of Marines, which means that you are a leader of dogs of war. Only let out the amount of leash that you can handle." And that was an amazingly well put thing, because I was thinking back, I was like, because they were throwing rocks at us.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, please hit me in the face with a rock. Please hit me in the face with a rock. And
Yeah. So
that mentality I knew would have escalated if I didn't, get my head screwed on straight. And him pulling me aside kept my emotions more in check the rest of the deployment.
Telling you, there's a lot of that, and later on in my career, when I became a platoon sergeant, I did a lot of things that I emulated from that guy, because that guy, he's one of the best Marines I ever served with by a lot. And I had the benefit of leaving 2-4, going to SOI and becoming an instructor, and he was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was an infantry unit leader instructor for a while, and like he was at the schoolhouse with me, and I actually got the benefit of actually talking to him on other situations, and picking his brain and becoming a better Marine, because I knew that dude. I'm telling you, that guy. Yeah. Where's he at? Have you spoke to him?
He's senior enlisted for Pacific.
Wow.
The last I saw, then that was like last 2 years, a year and a half ago, I think I looked it up. So I don't know where he's at right now, but
Yep.
no, he's still whooping it on. I would love to have a conversation with him.
He's Eric Cook. He is yeah. He's top of the list of the guys that have been influential in my life, and yeah, great dude.
And so and this is very divergent from Ramadi, but how many years did you end up doing the Marine Corps?
I did 12 years active. Yeah, I went to SOI, but I was an instructor for a contract. And then I went on to 1-7 and deployed with those guys several times too. So,
okay,
as a platoon sergeant, as a section leader for the 81s, did a little time as the with the sniper platoon and stuff like that, and a lot of weapons company stuff.
Nice. I always think it's interesting because we've had a few different people on here and having these conversations. People that have taken things away from senior leadership and then gone on and you're passing it on. Like you never realize what you do that ends up passing forward so much more. And I imagine, I don't know, he's probably a master sergeant or sergeant major. He's a sergeant major, right? When you
Sergeant
looked him
major.
up,
yeah.
So he's a sergeant major now, and so he's probably not that he's forgotten the deployment, but it's probably hard for him to understand his impact.
Yeah, I mean, he had a slew of experience before he even showed up. You know what I mean? Yeah. He did that Mew with Liberia, like that whole Liberia thing, I think.
That's correct. Yeah. No, he was a quiet leader. I really respected his intellect, and he was an amazing platoon sergeant for us, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and platoon and section commander. I mean, he wasn't the only one that was that was the case, but
and it went with the other section. So yeah, he was literally,
Well, he ended up being the lieutenant essentially, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's really unusual to me, that command structure that we had, where we're all of a sudden we split up our largest platoon into 2 platoons, and then we're like, oh wait, we don't have enough commanders for it. But I mean, we didn't have enough commanders for map 3 either, right? We had a gunnery sergeant in the platoon commander billet over there as well.
Yeah.
It was just a thing. We were short a lot of people. We had a lot of platoon sergeants who were actual sergeants instead of being a gunnery sergeant, which is what it should be, and a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. We had a lot of great leaders as far as NCOs are concerned too, though. Like
100%.
Like, that's where I learned how to be an NCO. Like, we had sergeants that were top notch, man.
Yeah. Who'd you have?
We had Esquivel with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always had, we had Flex Garcia back in the day, and we had a lot of sergeants that were gangster, man. These guys were great.
We had Diaz too. He came later though.
Yeah.
But he was with us with Sledgehammer.
Yep.
But we were light.
Leader.
What's that?
He was another quiet leader.
Yes.
Like specifically remember when we rolled out of Hurricane Point and we got down by where Fox Company was at.
Mm-hmm.
Snake Pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were rolling towards Snake Pit, and that IED was placed on the K-rails, the Jersey barriers that were out in front of there, and that popped on my vehicle, and it fucked my vehicle up, man. Like, we barely limped that back to Hurricane Point. Well, it knocked me unconscious for a second. Like, I was laying and Diaz come back, and he pulled my door open, and he slapped me in the face, and he woke me up. Like, kind of, because I was dazed. I don't remember what happened. I just woke up and the whole truck was full of smoke. Sky, I could actually see the sky from inside the Humvee because it was that fucked up. And we limped it back to Hurricane Point. And before that, he pulled everybody out to push security out and stuff like that. And he pushed me, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I was useless, man. I got to be honest with you. Like, my bell was rung so bad. And Aldretti got peppered in his face, and it was pretty legit. But we come back through the gate, and the gate guards are like, "We heard the bomb go out." Like, we were limping in there, like the front wheel was hanging onto the vehicle, and we were all on flats. We were all in it. And I looked at the gate guards. I was like, "Woo!" And they were like, "Oh, man." We went back to the motor pool and parked that something. We had to BAS, and they're like, "Oh, you need to wait. We're going to wake up the doc. We're going to wake up the medical officer and stuff like that." And we all decided that we were going to go and grab another vehicle from the motor pool and go meet up with our guys out in town.
Mm-hmm.
And we never stuck around. And I tried to link up with you on the radio, and we're like, "Hey, where are you guys at?" And they're like, "Wait a minute. Why are you guys coming back out here?" And I was like, "Yeah, we got to get back out there." But yeah, that night was nuts.
I remember I forgot about that one, but yeah, that was
nuts, man. They tore that vehicle up, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the last time that one went out, isn't it? I don't think they ever fixed that one back up.
Oh yeah, it was done. It was finally done.
Yeah.
That was the brown one. It was finally done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pale horse.
Yeah, that's what we called it. Was the pale horse. That's right. Remember, Stadelman drove the pale horse for a while, I think, right? Like,
yeah.
It got rotated around a little bit, but yeah.
I think, and I don't know if I've gotten the impression that we were a little unique in that I don't feel like we had hard set, like, who we would run with every single time. Like, felt like the back end of, like, I had a different driver often. And then the back end of my truck had different guys in it fairly frequently. I think it kind of firmed up towards the end a little bit, but I think we switched out a lot more than a lot of other places because you guys kept it pretty static, right, Nylan?
100%. So coming from a CAT platoon structure and then moving to a mobile assault platoon wasn't that different for us, but it was a little different in that, more dismounts, a little more kicking down doors and doing, stuff in a city. But the idea is that you have it's just like having a gun team, I assume, although I've never been on a mortar gun team, is that you have the exact same person. So you do the exact same repetitions over and over and over again. And so your driver is always your driver. Your commander is always your commander. The A gunner is always the A gunner. The gunner is always the gunner. And you really don't even rotate positions in the truck much. Everybody kind of does the same thing over and over again. And the only time you switch is either when you have to, or somebody's wounded or something like that. But otherwise it's meant to be very static for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, that was smart. Like, you guys adapted really, really, really well. Like, not having an armor threat. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah, your combined anti-armor teams had to convert to that, map concept. And right. I think you guys really like made that like a thing for the Marine Corps. Like, you literally, built it into something that it's very, very useful. And
I would love to take credit. It definitely was not any of our ideas. I would love to know who came up with the idea, because it did, if you look at the command publications later that came after our deployment, it became the universal concept afterwards. I mean, they put a little tweaks and tunes on it, but that was really like, it worked so well here. This is what we're doing everywhere now.
yeah, I'm sure it's like a gunner somewhere or something came up with a concept or something.
Absolutely.
But you guys proved the concept.
Right.
Like it, yeah. Yeah, very good.
So here, let's go back a little ways and go back to so after Warth.
I mean, to put a date on it, right? We crossed the LOD March 6th. Warth got hit in the face March 20th. Like, that was very early. That was the first 2 weeks.
Yep. It was very early. Yep. It was one of those things where there's a lot of young kids that had to grow up and be men, like, right away, like instantly. Like, we thought we were out there doing some stabilization stuff. We're going to build some schools. We're going to, make sure these guys have fair elections and all this other stuff. And then, all of a sudden, whoa, there's a threat here. You know what I'm saying? And those guys, it was legit.
Yeah, I remember those first couple missions. I mean, I remember going out and handing out soccer balls. I remember going to a couple schools, and really I remember interacting, having more public relation effort based missions on that early stuff. And I think we might have taken fire prior to Warth. I have a half memory of that, but I don't think we did. I don't think there wasn't anything to do about it.
No, I think they were testing us. I think they shot a few rounds at us and took off. We did stop. We did get out. We did look for them, and we did things that other individuals in that city didn't do prior to us. Obviously, because our mission had changed. But they were like, oh, let's see what these guys are about. I mean, they're wearing different uniforms. They dress a little different. Like, let's see what they're about. And they were good about testing us too. So.
Do you remember? I don't know why this made me think of it, but do you remember when we captured those guys from either Kenya or Liberia or whatever? We were
Sudan was my memory.
Sudan. There, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
But it was a night. It was when there was curfews, and we were coming down. We were coming off of Nova up in that area, and we're coming down, and all of a sudden we saw a bunch of guys from like Sudan. There was like 14 of them, and we went to go try to talk to them. We got a couple of them.
You mean the corner of Ramadi doesn't have 14 black guys standing in the corner in the middle of the night?
Well, there was two reasons why we wanted to stop. We were like, well, you guys don't quite like to be a part of the neighborhood profile here, and also it's curfew violation.
Well, like I said before, different is a problem in Ramadi.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute.
Those poor guys, they had just gotten dropped off too. They were supposed to go meet up at their safe house, and they had just gotten dropped off. Yeah, we came around the corner and was like, nope.
Yeah, Uber drops them off at their location, snatch them up like 5 seconds later. It was crazy. That's the ones who were sitting in the circle of concertina wire. We all had to sit there and watch them until somebody came and talked to them, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the one where that was actually, I think that might have been the last time I was a driver for Cook, because when they took off running, I took off after them, Cook, Esquivel, and I think there was another person that we all ran after the guy that took off, and one of us shot him, and I remember Cook then turning back with the other guy, going back to the trucks, and it was Esquivel and I were staying there with the guy. Yep. And anyways, to make a long story short, afterwards we circled up and we're like, okay, we can't have the three top people in the unit leaving the convoy. We need to make sure that we distribute this out a little bit.
Yeah.
And
all
so
in the section runs off into the darkness. Yeah, we probably should preserve some sort of chain of command.
So that's when I got my own truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
John, do you remember, just because we're kind of early in the deployment as far as storytelling goes, do you remember the first time you guys got to shoot back? where you actually had a standing gunfight? Because pop shots seemed like it happened to everybody early, but it, like I said, ghosts in the darkness. Do you remember the first time you got to actually see an enemy?
Yeah. So like we were running. So do you remember how we got broke up into like 5 sections? Like we had the taskable, and then the QRF, and then the ghost force, and night and day, obviously. And then we were running. Mustard, if you can help me out with this, like we were running security on a resupply when someone had opened up on us, and we got out and we saw a guy on the rooftop with a machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ended up securing that house and hitting the house. And
that was at the far end of the city, right?
Right. Yeah. It was
like it was.
Down.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we had combat outpost. We had run all the supplies from combat outpost back towards Hurricane Point, Blue Diamond, stuff like that. And we had barely entered the city from combat outpost when we started getting engaged. And the 7 tons had a bunch of tires blown out. And back then,
that's right.
Remember when the 7 tons, if they got a flat tire, it would lock the brakes up on it. Like they had that problem. So that 7 ton started dragging its ass down Route Michigan, trying to get out of the kill spot. But we had moved in and then pushed them off of that vehicle. That was probably the first time we had a somewhat of a sustained gunfight. It was the beginning of, when we started trading fire with people. But
that's right. I can't remember when that would have been, though.
Yeah, you and I were sitting there. We were on that corner, and you were firing over my shoulder. Muzzle right by my ear, and I'm like, "You motherfucker!"
No, you actually elbowed me in the gut on that. I'm like, you're like, "Stop shooting in my ear, motherfucker!"
Yeah, VA that was worth 10%, by the way.
Yeah, you can use this. Take the snippet for your buddy statement.
Yeah, they're paying me 10% for that one.
If you recall any more details, do you mind elaborating a little?
There was a guy. So we ended up the owner of the house, or who appeared to be the owner of the house, is the first time I got pissed off because the dude started laughing when we grabbed him. Remember that, Musser? Like we grabbed him and he started laughing as we were like clearing the house and everything. And dude, I actually ended up being the guy that just was holding security on him, and everybody started going into the house and clearing it all out. And like once everybody kind of disappeared into the house and stuff, I seriously contemplated beating this dude's ass because he thought it was hilarious that we were getting shot at from the roof of his house. And there was a bunch of brass up there. I don't think we ever got the guy, did we? Did we?
That not on that one. We never figured out. It wasn't the guy. It wasn't the owner, quote unquote.
He was there,
but he was definitely there. And we found the brass, and I believe we ended up taking him because he had 2 guns.
Yeah.
And so we were able to use that as of justification for.
Yeah, I remember we dropped him off, and then the intel guys wanted to talk to him, like he was like somebody of interest or something.
If you like what you've heard, this is a multi-part episode. Make sure you listen to the rest of the story.